Hello again, guys and gals. I am Jim Bob. Welcome back to Fendt Farm. So, it's morning, and we have a new tool on the farm. This is the short bale trailer from the old generation Massey Ferguson pack, and this is absolutely perfect for us for transporting our wall pallets. I've been wanting a trailer of this sort of size, something that's not too big, nice and easy to maneuver around on a tight yard like this. So this is absolutely perfect for this farm. Really glad that we actually have one of these in the pack. So this will be the only Massey Ferguson implement we're installing. It doesn't have any branding on it either. It's just kind of got the Massey colour scheme on the bodywork just there, and the wheels kind of tie in with our Fendt colour scheme as well. Obviously the Fendts have red wheels too, so we can get away with that. It looks decent enough, and as I say, size-wise it's absolutely perfect for this farm. Enough to get 6 or 8 pallets on there, which is probably all we'll ever need to fit on in any one go. We could always double stack them if we really need to, but a good sized little trailer there. Now if we look at our crops, last time we bought field 13, that is now ready to harvest. And fields 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, still need to think of a better name for that field, and fields 2 and 3 are almost ready to harvest, as is field 33. If we check the growth, you can see they're in their final stage. Field 13 obviously in its final stage of harvesting is ready to go. All the fields are fully fertilised, so let's make our way over to field 13 and start harvesting that canola. So as we make our way onto this field, it is fully fertilised, but it isn't ploughed, so we are going to lose that 10% extra bonus for having an unploughed field. So we'll get 190% yield off this field as opposed to the full 200, but that's still a pretty strong yield, and it looks like we're hooking on the trailer, so I'm going to have to try and, there we go, shake my way free. And this field is a little unusual. It's like those fields on Coldborough Park Farm in the way that it's actually growing the crop. You'll see as we get down here, obviously you can see we have a bit of a border where there's nothing planted. And as we get to the edge of the field itself actually has sort of round curved edges on the far end of the field, but in terms of the crop that's planted on this field, it goes off at a weird sort of diagonal angle, so there's quite a large actual chunk of field at the top end that isn't actually planted at all. And that's just the way the sort of preset growth pattern is for contract work on this field. Now that we own it, obviously we'll be ploughing it once this harvest is done, and we can even square it up a little bit potentially, just maybe get rid of some of those round corners. But you can see what I mean here about this this chunk of ground here that isn't being used. So we'll have to work that a little bit more carefully. And it's the same on the opposite side of the field as well. There is again a sort of angled patch like that where there's just nothing planted. But now that we have ownership of this field, we can use the entire field to plant. It's just the way the growth cycle was programmed in for contract work. So it isn't a dead field. It isn't, a field that won't let us plant there. It will do. Just obviously we had to wait until we owned the field before we could make use of the entire field. Now, in the previous episode I asked which style of container you would prefer, which style of trailer you would prefer, and the winner was this style with the white panel at the front. So we'll be switching out that wooden wall and replacing it, resetting it back to sort of default loadout. So let's do that now. We need to take one of these over to the field, obviously, to unload our canola into. So thank you for your responses in the comments and in messages. You know, based on the answers that you gave me, that was the popular vote was to get rid of the wooden wall. So there we go. Set it back to standard. And let's go off and meet up with our combine. So the combine is nearly half full. We've got a little bit of time to play about with. So while we're waiting for that to start filling up, we're also going to go and jump into our 936. We'll grab the plough. We'll take that over and get ready to rework that field. I'm so glad that we have one of these 936s on the farm now, a Black Beauty. It's such a lovely paint job. I mean, we can actually replicate this paint job on our 800 series. You know, it's got quite a few different colour options. One of which is, you know, the black body paint work, and also the grille on the 800 series is also customizable as well. So you can have this this light grille that we have on the Black Beauty, or you can have the sort of standard dark grille. But I wanted to keep this colour scheme just for the Black Beauty, which is why we went for the white colour scheme on our 800 series. So let's get our ploughing started. We need to obviously move this out of the way. So let's just pull over to the side of the field. There we go. And now we can continue to work our combine. So let's take control. There we go. And let's carry on harvesting the field. So we're emptying off the first load from that field. This is 23,000 litres of canola going into our storage bins here. Quite a nice little haul, considering we still haven't finished the field. Not a huge amount of it left to do, but encouraging to see that we have more than one trailer's worth. As we head back onto the field, you can see not a massive amount left to do. We are definitely going to be squaring off the field a little bit once we've finished harvesting. Got the worker just ploughing away on the field for me. Get it all nice and done, and then we'll square off those corners a little bit. Add a little bit of extra planting ground. Have to be careful. We might have to cut down a couple of those trees in that corner there. I think we're pretty much okay on that corner over there. We'll have to see how it all shakes out once we're done. So harvesting is done. We've got hardly anything left in the tank now, just emptied, but our trailer's got around 9,000 litres or so in it. So all told, that's a tally of around 32,000 litres off this field of canola. That's not bad. We'll get a really good harvest on something like wheat or barley on this field. I think barley is what I'm going to plant on this next. Obviously we don't have any barley left now, having sold it all in the previous episode to meet that great demand. So I think barley will be the crop that we put down on this field once we finish ploughing it. Need to top up our fuel tank as well. You can see we're in the red now, only 98 litres left, and that'll go down pretty quickly as well. These combines are thirsty. So let's load the header up. There we go. And now we can go put this, well, not put it away, we can just go move this over to the next field. We have a load more canola to harvest. Obviously our big super field where those original 5 fields have been ploughed together, that has canola on it as well. And then our 2 fields at the back, fields 2 and 3, they have soybeans on them as well. We already have a good 30,000 plus of soybeans in storage, so gonna have a nice little bit of money crop to play about with, which is just as well because we are seriously broke right now. Obviously with the expenses of buying the new seeder and the new tractor in the last episode, plus that field as well, we are completely tapped out loan wise, fully overdrawn at 300,000 euros. Oh, this is actually ready to go, look, that's even better, so we can get this harvesting straight away. We'll need our second trailer for this. Obviously we're easily going to fill both trailers. Curious to see just how much we will actually get off this field. So let's pick up the header, unfold, and we're going to need to put in a headland around this field. So we'll go up and then we'll go across and then come back down on the other side and then come along the bottom, and then once that's done then we'll actually do a proper up and down passing. Actually, which way is the biggest? Technically, really, we should be going the other way up the field, but we'll do it this way. This is the way it's best. And we can see 33 is ready now, so we can actually take the tops off that and harvest our beets, and then we can finally give our pigs full feed. As you can see, we've got plenty of normal food, so wheat or barley, canola, sunflowers, or soybeans. We just need the root crops to fill them up to a full 100% productivity. But even without the beets, you can see we're still getting 95% productivity. That's really good. So pleased to see that. Not making much in the way of manure or slurry, but we are making some. It's a little bit. And obviously our cows are doing quite well. We need to make up another batch of power food pretty soon. I want to run down that silage and hay all the way to the bottom first, so our cows will probably be getting fed in the next episode. We'll leave them alone for this one. Okay, so our combine is busy working away. We're going to start stretching this field out just a little bit to try and square off these rounded corners here. Make these fields a little bit bigger by doing this. It will actually give us a nice extra piece of ground to work with. So I'm just trying to be nice and smooth here, trying not to step out. I don't want to have to bring the roller over if I can avoid it. And this is where we may have a little bit of trouble with some of those trees, that we might have to just cut a couple down. That's fine if that's the case. You know, we have I think we have a chainsaw. I hope we have a chainsaw. Actually no, I don't think we do. And we don't have any money. We can't buy a chainsaw. Can't buy anything right now, so we'll have to sell something if we do need to buy a chainsaw. So let's bring this edge across. You can see how much extra ground that we're actually going to be gaining by squaring off this corner. Oops, gone a little too far there. Okay, so I'm going to have to bring the roller over, just tidy up. But look how much extra ground that we've gained, you know, by stretching out this this corner and squaring it off rather than having that long, you know, sort of sloping corner. getting a really nice extra patch of workable land here, and we'll obviously have the same being added on the opposite side of the field as well. So a really nice little way to expand this field out. Okay, so here we are on the opposite side. This is a little bit of a scruffier edge, and we've also got to be very wary of that fence that closes in a little bit, but we can still straighten this this side out, and it's actually a little bit easier. We've got no trees here to worry about, so although we will get a little close to the edge on this side, it's not a major problem. It won't cause any real issues. That looks to be about right. So we go across here now. A little spin. And drop the plough. Now we can just run straight along here. Hey, that wasn't bad for a guess. Look at that. Only slightly overlapped, and we're going to have to get the roller anyway because of the mistake I made at the other end of the field. But that's not looking too bad. So I switched out to the 800 series for this field simply because of the hills and the fact that we're pulling 2 trailers. The weight is going to be much heavier to pull. And even, you know, trying to catch up to this combine, you know, we were struggling to get up to a good speed. We weren't hitting more than around 15 miles an hour coming up that hill, and that's only with 1 trailer partially loaded. So when we've got, you know, 1 trailer completely full and the other one half loaded, we're really going to struggle to come up this hill. The 700 series just wouldn't be able to cut it. Need the extra grunt of the 828. And there we go, 16,500 off this field so far. I've done 2 passes on the far side, and obviously we've done the headland at the top and bottom as well, and all of this. So taken a good chunk of the field so far, but we still obviously got a lot of grain left on this field. Okay, so the field edges have been cleaned up, and we are now starting our barley plant on our brand new field 13. So I figured I may as well get started prepping the beet harvest as well. So I'm going to run the topper over the field first of all, remove all the tops, and then once that's done, we'll start to sort out our beets. Could be quite a few trips actually on this one. I have no idea what kind of yield we're going to get off this field. It's fully fertilised, it is ploughed, so potentially we could get quite a lot. And obviously we're going to stick a fair few in with our pigs as some food for them. But beyond that, I don't know how much we're going to have left over. So we don't have anywhere to store them. They're going to just get dumped on the ground up here probably. Maybe dumped on the ground near the pig farm, so that we can actually just shovel them up and tip them there. But I don't think our silos will be able to hold these, so we'll leave him running. Let's get back to check on our combine. Ooh, fuel is getting low. Will we be able to finish this field off? When we get down to about 5 litres, I'm just going to have to stop whatever I'm, you know, wherever it is, and just run back to the farm just to make sure I can actually get back and fuel up. Can't afford to buy a fuel trailer at the moment. You know, 7 grand in debt, and oh, something's wrong. Oh, that shouldn't be switched on. There we go. That's why our money's going down so quickly. That's a bit better. So yeah, we're over 7 grand in debt right now. We're definitely going to have to sell something at the end of this harvest just to get us back into a positive bank balance, because we can't balance it out with a loan. We are fully overdrawn. down to 47 litres. There's our soybeans waiting for us. Look, how much soybean do we actually have in our silos? 37,000, just under 38,000. So I think what we'll do is we'll sell that soybean crop. The price is going up. Hopefully by the time we get done, the price will actually be getting up into a really nice range. One of the sale points is absolutely through the floor at the moment, 871. That's terrible. Sale area 2 is going up. We may have to wait till the morning before we can sell. Depends how quickly this market changes. We are already into the afternoon, as you can see. And none of the other crops that we have are really sort of screaming out saying sell, sell, sell. The only other really ideal one that we could potentially look at selling would be canola, and the price on that isn't fantastic at the moment either. So we have the crop, we just don't have the right price just yet. So we're back here on field 13, and because of the way these trees are placed and the fact that we can't really do much about them right now, to make sure that they're not going to be an issue, I'm going to restart the planting from this bottom corner here. So now we have space when we come back up to turn and continue with the rest of the field. There's not much left to do now, as you can see. Only a few more passes, and then this field will be done, and we can continue with the rest of our harvesting. Oh, great demand for sugar beet for 6 hours. Let's check the price out on that. 222. Well, it's not bad. Alright, well, we'll feed the pigs. We'll put a little bit aside to keep them topped up, and then I think we'll sell the rest. Might as well. So we've got 6 hours. So we've got until 8 o'clock until that great demand finishes. Oh. That's perfect timing, really. Like I said, we've got that field. It's almost done. How is it doing at the moment? You can see our topper is still working away. Got one and a bit more passes, I think, to clean the rest of that field off, and then we can get going with the harvesting. I'm probably going to wait until I've finished the canola harvest that we're working on right now, so that I can divert full attention to it, because I will need to constantly unload that small harvester. It only has a 6,000 litre capacity, which is tiny. It fills up really quickly. So I'll manually harvest that field once this one here is done, and then we'll see what we've got in terms of leftover beets to sell, I think. So all of our workers have finished their respective jobs. So now it's time to bring our double trailer up to field 33 and start working on that beet harvest. Let's see if I can get through this gate. There we go. Maybe not. Come on, we can squeeze through there. Oh, it's a struggle, but there we go, we're through. It's a little tight turning in there, but it's easier than manoeuvring around through that yard to make our way up. We can kind of shortcut all the way around that there. Come out here, halfway up the hill. So rather than chasing the combine, well, let's say the combine, chasing that sort of pull behind harvester, what we're going to do is we're just going to park up here on the side of the field and then just empty as we go. So we'll harvest along, and then when the harvester is full, we'll just drive over to the trailers and unload into them. So just there should do. Where is... There it is. All the heads have been taken off, so we can get rid of this attachment here. I was going to tip into that and then just use that to ferry stuff around, but seeing as we have this great demand, we'll probably just fill that trailer at once. We should have enough horsepower with this, I think, to be able to run this harvester. Yeah, we'll fill into our little small trailer. We'll put maybe 10,000 litres or so into that, so that we have a little bit of a surplus. And then everything else will go directly into those two tippers there. And again, I have absolutely no idea how much we're going to get off this field. We could get a little bit, we could get a lot. But I would expect 2 passes and we'll be full. Maybe even less than 2 passes. That's 50% right there. Drop that back down. If I work to a 5-row like that, it should be absolutely fine. Yeah, that's working fine. There we go, full already. Like I said, this thing fills up really quickly because it's such a small capacity, only 6,000 litres. Ideally, if we had the funds, then we would have a Holmer harvester, yeah, the smaller of the two for this map, but it's just too expensive. I mean, they're like 385,000, I believe. And then obviously you've got to buy your header on top of that as well. It's just so expensive. It's just not worth it unless you're doing a lot of beets. So it just means we're going to be filling this thing up very quickly. So there we go, that's 6,000 in the trailer. That can hold, I think, 18,000 litres. So I don't know if we'll fill it up. I think we'll just probably do 2 passes and leave it at that. We're on the other side of the field, aren't we? So let's lower it. There we go. Turn on the harvester. So these are the first beets that I've harvested on the channel. Well, first row crop that I've harvested on the channel. I haven't done beets, I haven't done potatoes before. This is the first time. It is something I want to do at some point. I want to do a big beet harvest on either American Outback or Big Bud Farm, because I want to use the Terra Fellis to sort of shovel up all those beets off the ground, build a huge beet pile, and then you know, use the Fellis to scoop them all up at the end. But that's a way off, and that's a lot of very expensive equipment as well. The Fellis is kind of a novelty item, really, in this game. It's great, but unless you're doing a lot of beets on a regular basis, it's kind of a waste of time. And even with a single player as well, it's almost a little bit of a waste of time too. You know what, I think we can just fill this trailer all the way up. Let's do 3 fills. Max it out at 18,000 litres. Yeah, the Fellis is a little bit of a novelty item because as a single player experience, you can just tip straight into a trailer or a series of trailers rather than just building on the ground and then unloading them and having to constantly jump out to move the trailers. When you're on your own, it's kind of a novelty thing. The Fellis, it's designed, I think, more for multiplayer. If you want to do a more realistic sort of beet harvest where you have, you know, a couple of augers unloading the beets, piling them on the ground, building up that really big pile, and then at the end you have a couple of people running trucks while someone else is running the Fellis and loading those trucks. That to me is really where the Fellis is going to get used more. But I do want to feature it on my channel in some way, shape or form, so we'll try and get there. It won't be on this farm, obviously. It's just way too big a piece of equipment, and it's just not worth hiring one just for a single harvest. You might get a screenshot of the beet harvest actually. There we go. Might use that as the cover screenshot for this episode. Got a couple to choose from. Like I said, this is the first time we have done root crops on this channel, so that may well be the image. And there we go, we're full again. So everything else now on this field is fair game to be sold. And hopefully that great demand price might even creep up a little bit. While this is unloading, let's check the store, see if the price has changed in any way. No, still holding at 222. Okay, well, let's not tempt fate, so let's slow time down to real time so that we can get the rest of this field done. We'll load the harvest up and then we'll take whatever we get down to the sell point and just tip it, and then the 18,000 litres that we have in that trailer, which should now be 100% full, that is for our pigs. So where do we get to? Looks like we oh no, we almost made it to the end of that road there, look. So lower the combine down, turn it on, and there we go. So all of these beets that are left on this field, these are all now going to be sold off. So I'm going to carry on doing this and I'll catch up to you when it's done. I love watching the inner workings of these machines, so you can see the beets being picked up off the ground, just fed through that sort of grating system at the bottom there. Round and up to the conveyor, and then from there they're being tipped into the hopper before coming back down again. I love watching the sort of inner workings of machines like this when they're in action. I'm starting to wonder if we might actually end up filling both of these trailers. We're only getting a couple of passes, not even 2 complete passes to fill this thing up. And as you can see, we've already done the first trailer and we've still got that on the field there. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. see where we end up. So this is the last pass on our sugar beet harvest. And as you can see, we are just about going to be able to fit everything in. Let's get that one last beet that was there on the edge there. Oh, I'm on the wrong side of the trailer. It is just going to fit. This was the final trailer load, so we'll have just under 3,000 litres capacity left in this trailer. But there we go. There is our harvest. We have these two trailers here, which we're going to go and sell right now, because we have nowhere to store them, and we need the money, and we have a great demand. It's kind of the perfect storm. And we have 18,000 litres of beets there in that trailer there for pig food as well. So that's off a tiny little field like that. We've gained, a quick bit of mental maths here, 57,000 litres of sugar beets. That's an awful lot. I mean, the price isn't huge at 222 per 1,000 litres. It's really not that much at all. But if a tiny little field like that, field 33, which is one of the smallest fields, if not the smallest field on the map, if that field is going to yield 57,000 litres, can you imagine how much our newly combined super field would yield? A huge amount of crop, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of litres. If we were going to do a harvest of beets on that field, we would need a Holmer. That little pull-behind machine would just take so long to do it. It wouldn't even manage a complete pass before it filled up. So let's take all these beets over to the market and go sell them. So you remember the trouble we had negotiating around this area last time around when we had the much bigger trailer. You can see it's a little bit easier this time around. Shorter trailers mean easier turning circles. So which sell point do we need? This is sell point 2. We want sell point 1, so that's the one around the corner. So hopefully we'll make enough to put us back in the black. But I don't think we're going to make a staggering amount here. Look at that, 5,000 per trailer. So that will put us back in the black, but only by a couple of grand. Oh, not even that, because we didn't have a full trailer on the second trailer. So we have 27 euros. We are loaded. 27 euros. Oh, look how easily we got through there this time with these shorter trailers. Definitely was the right decision to get rid of that larger trailer and switch to 2 of these, I think. Right, let's go feed our piggies. Okay, so just how much of this beet harvest will actually be needed? I'm guessing not much. Is that it? 1,000? Are you kidding me? After all that, all they needed was 1,000. Not even 1,000. 958 beets. Ah, you're kidding. Okay, so we have more than enough beets to last us an eternity. In fact, I'm actually going to go and sell some of these beets. I'm probably going to go and sell about 10,000 litres worth of these beets. If we're only needing 958 to completely fill that food trough with beets, then 18,000 litres is more than enough, way more than we need to keep in storage. So I'll go and sell maybe 10,000 litres worth, get an extra couple of grand. We're going to eat that up immediately as soon as we refill our cedar. So, yeah. I honestly thought we would need more than that. I thought we would need at least a couple of thousand litres. At the very, very least, I was expecting maybe 4,000 or 5,000 litres worth of beets would be needed. Not even 1,000, that's ridiculous. All that hassle and work and effort for so few beets needed. If I'd known that, I probably wouldn't even have bothered, doing a beet harvest. But at least I know now for future farms. I've just tipped the beets into the silo. It turns out we can actually store beets in there. We don't need to buy a storage mod or anything else. I was going to maybe just dump them in a pile over here. I've kept 5,000. So we look at our stock. You see there, 5,012 litres of beets. I sold 12,000 litres out the trailer. Got around 2,700 euros for it. Not a huge amount, but it all adds up, and we're about to eat up all of that money with a cedar refill in a moment anyway. So yeah, the silos on Drummard will hold beets, so that's always good to know, nice and handy. So all that's left for us to do now is to harvest our 2 fields of soybeans. And once that's done, that's going to be it. So we've had a pretty good run so far this episode, in terms of what we've done. We've harvested our canola field, we've reworked it and recut it to square those corners off. It's been replanted with barley, which is now in its first growth stage. So we're going to need to sort of refertilise that soon as well. And then on top of that, we've also done our mega field, also with canola. We've done our beet harvest, and we've sold a ton of beets, and fed our pigs with that final missing ingredient in their power food as well. And now we have our soybean harvest. And this is all that we're going to be, this is going to be sold off. I probably won't even put this in the silo. I'll probably just leave it in the trailer and wait until the price improves. And the second the price gets to a good enough level, I'll just drive it straight down and sell it. I'm expecting to get a harvest that, easily, will probably easily fill one trailer and not much more. Over these 2 different fields here. I don't think there's going to be anything more than 30,000 combined across these 2 fields, and our trailers can hold a total of 46. So we'll easily be within capacity. We won't have to go back to the silos and store in between harvesting. We'll literally just run the combine, keep emptying as it fills up, and that'll be it. So let's keep plodding on, finish these 2 fields off, and then we'll check the market and see where we stand price wise. So as we take a quick look at the prices here while our combine works away, we can see that Drummard sale area 1 is now starting to go up after that rock bottom price. And sale area 2 is climbing quite nicely here. Already got a really good solid green price. It's getting stronger. with every passing moment, almost up to 1,500 per 1,000 litres. So it looks as though the price is going to come good for us at just the right time. And it's a crop that is going to net us the most money as well. We're going to have a nice chunk to sell. As you can see, we have that 37,500 litres in storage already, plus whatever we get from both fields 2 and 3 to go with that as well. We'll keep whatever's in the silo. We might even top that up just a touch to say around 40,000. But everything else will get sold off. So the product of basically whatever's on this field and field 2 is what we're going to sell. And it couldn't have come at a better time, really. That increasing in price, because we are almost destitute. We have a couple of thousand euros to our name, and a whopping great 300,000 euro bank debt as well. So we definitely need to be selling something. Okay, so this field is done, and we're going to have to detach the header and take it through on the trailer because it's just too wide to fit through that little gap in the fence there. But that's it. That's the sum total of this field. It's not a lot, as you can see. $14,000 litres, so a little over half the trailer. So we're going to end up with probably somewhere around double that, so just around 30,000 litres. I think field 2 is slightly bigger than field 3. That's the total sort of crop that we're going to have to sell. Let's get the header on. That's enough. And now let's take this through and get started in the next field. Alright, we are underway now on field 2, so this is it. This is the last field that we need to work on. Once this is done, hopefully we'll be in a position to sell. Look, oh, that price is still going up, look. 1,600 and still climbing. I wonder what it's going to be when it finishes, what it's going to top out at. Well, there we go. That is it. Field is done. Harvest is completed. Let's store the last of the grain into this trailer here and check the price on the market. Is that front trailer full? There we go. So, engine off. Let's switch to this tractor here. 1701. That's a great price. Absolutely loving that price. How much do we have to sell? I said it'd be somewhere just under 30,000. That's 29. Just over 29,000. So yeah, that's pretty much what I expected off those two fields. So that's a nice little wedge of cash. So I'm going to go and sell that right now. And once I've got that, I'll immediately put that into the bank to help reduce those loan costs, which will be coming out in a little over 3 game hours time. So that's it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. I will look forward to seeing you back on Fendt Farm next Friday. Don't forget, tomorrow is the second weekly episode of Big Bud Farm. And hopefully, later today, or by the time this video comes out, we might actually have a mod or 2 being released. We've got 6 different mods, 5 mods and an update in testing right now. And I'm really hoping that we're going to get one or two of those pop later today. So fingers crossed for that. If the mother bin that's currently in testing pops, then that may well make an appearance on tomorrow's episode of Big Bud Farm. But for now, that's all for this episode. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you back on Fendt Farm next Friday.